Essential Garage Tape Pack, the #1 tape pack channel on YouTube. No gimmicks, no filters, all the raw tape history from the golden era of UKG. Exclusive sets, big interviews, and podcast moments with real energy. This is what the world is watching. Essential exclusive.
So welcome to the Essential Speaks To podcast with myself, Shane Blitz. Happy New Year to everybody who has had a great, over the last few weeks, great parties, and you probably will celebrate them with your family and your loved ones. So, as I say, Happy New Year to you all. And thank you for taking the time to watch the Essential Speaks To podcast today. So, we're going to get stuck in with what is called the end of year wrap up of 2025, and also I've got a major announcement to make at the end. So if you've already seen the community ad or post, you'll know I've got something to say at the end, but I'll leave that to the very end. 2025 for me was a great journey for not just myself but the platform, and I have to say credit to you all for taking part, supporting, and your ears. It hasn't gone unnoticed. Every message, communication, be it on the TikTok, the Instagram, the Facebooks, the interaction we've had, you guys even coming up to me and even just, thanking the work I've done. It's not me, it's yourselves. You've all played a part in the journey of where the community is all growing, and I love it, and it's great. And I wouldn't be here doing this if you guys weren't interacting either. So thanks to you guys. Please, thank you. We're going to get stuck in. Let's start with how 25 as a whole it looked, and if we kick off with February of 25, February was a continuation of 24 where we left off from, where we picked up from, and we continued with volume 3 of the Essential series compilation, which if those who just joined the podcast for the first time, or the podcast shall we say, joined the platform for the first time, we have a series on the channel which is driven by yourselves, the community, and the DJs and the producers who DJ, who've put a mix together. 60 minutes, could be longer, and it's just a showcase of something to give back to the community, and I appreciate those DJs who have taken part. There's so many names, I'm probably not going to go through them all. You know who you are. You supported it, great. And I enjoyed the 3-day event that we done back in February of 25. That was a great event. I really enjoyed the Saturday, Sunday, and also the Monday live streams we did on YouTube. They were great, and there'll be plenty more of that to come in due course. So again, massive shout out to you guys on that. We dove a little bit into March, and March, for those guys who supported the Unspoken Word podcast, I had a trailer which was talking about why I wanted to start the initial podcast in the beginning. And if you haven't had a chance to look back, do go back on the channel and have a look if it's your first time watching this as well. I did mention that we're here to document the history of the UK garage scene. And I think it needs to be spoken about some of those moments which has never been spoken about before, but also getting the right people to speak about their journey and share that with one another, be it the community and everyone else. So we are now on season 2. So massive shouts to everybody who's made season 1 a success, because we wouldn't be continuing doing this. So it was great. We had 8 fantastic pioneer legendary guys who've come on and have spoken their word, starting with MC DT. And I like what DT said on his podcast, and massive shouts to him because he kicked off season 1 with key moments in his journey. You're talking about he's come from a background where he was playing jungle, he was involved in that scene. He was a resident at Horney, at Legends, and that just spiraled on from there. And look where he is now. He's had a chart #1. He's still performing to this day, and credit to his journey and what he's doing. and continue with that, you know. So want to say massive shout outs to MCDT for that. All right. We then went into episode 2, and we had our lovely Colour Girl, who, for me, doesn't get her flowers enough. She doesn't get the respect she does. She has been in the scene from day one, understanding what it takes to really take, for me, constructive criticism, because she's had to go through quite a lot of those challenges, yet still fighting, still doing her thing. And look at it, you know, she's still got strings of releases that are still being played on the radio, in the clubs, in the bars to this day. And they stand up. Doesn't matter how old the tracks are, it does the job. And, you know, what an episode that was, you know. And she talks a bit about her upbringings, where it all started for her, working with Nathan Lockett and G, and so forth. And look where it's taken her. So massive shouts to you there, Colour Girl, CG. Massive, maximum respect for that. You know, doesn't go unnoticed. Episode 3, we continue a little bit situation there from Colour Girl into her production partner at the time, Nathan Lockett. And my goodness me, was that episode epic. I remember recording that the first time and coming out of that session and thinking, wow, I think I've got something good here. And for those who probably wouldn't have known that, that would have been my second podcast I actually filmed. And a little nervous to say, because, you know, I'm sitting in, I'm talking with legends in the business, you know, and just to have that moment and just to record that, it was for me, what a moment. You know, he talks about his eureka moment at Sun City and how pivotal that was for him when he's realised he's made a track, didn't quite work out for him. He went again, that determination. He made, for me, a standout classic in going on, and look what happened. And it always shows, keep working hard at what you do and perfect what you do, you'll go far. Nathan said it there. That was his one part of his unspoken word. So, you know, massive shouts to you as well, you know, and big up Nadia as well. Massive respect for yourselves on that, mum, and making episode 3 a classic. We move on to episode 4, DJ Ramsey, I do believe. And Ramsey, his journey goes a little bit way back. He talks a bit about his day dancing. He progressed playing hardcore with his crew. He then became a pivotal part of Freak FM in the early days. Moving forward from that, he then moves on to London Underground, where he was the brains, if you want to, behind it all, with Mikey Sherpa and the boys, and making that happen, and how important London Underground was in '95. And look where that's gone. It's gone from strength to strength and doing what they're doing. And I want to say a massive, maximum respect to DJ Ramsey, because he's been part of the journey of the channel from day one. And I just wanted to say a personal thank you for your support and what you have done for the platform. And it never goes unnoticed what you've done. So I just want to say thanks, Ramsey. Massive respect for you, man. And big up the Love Life crew, big up Reki and the boys, and fantastic job that you guys are doing there. And also big up Fen, not going to forget Fen as well. All right. We then move on to episode 5, I do believe. Again, if I forget some of the episodes, do forgive me, because I'm just running it through. So I'm just freestyle off the top of my head, so do forgive me. But I do believe we had Cafe 432 and Mr. Jones. I still know him as Mr. Jones. Cafe 432. What an episode that was. He taught me a lot. Just digesting a lot about the how important flyer packs were in those times, you know, events were, and how important he helped kind of connect the dots together in club knowledge and those flyer packs as well, nums, how important that was as well. Massive shouts to Jay Jr. as well while we're here on talking on that as well. and that was important to what he done. He obviously stepped aside, went under his new alias name, Cafe 432, and again he's continuing his journey with his making his music and in the soulful house scene. And credit to you, man, you've been very helpful in what we've been doing, and I've got a lot of respect for you, man. So keep up with what you're doing, man. You're making some fantastic music out there. And for those who haven't probably had a chance to have a listen to some of Cafe 432's production, I strongly advise you, if you're into your soulful house or house music, do check and support that as well. All right. Now we move into Steve Stretton in episode 6, a great friend of mine. And Steve, my goodness me, we had a good sit down and a conversation, you know, and Mr. Stretton, indeed, he did talk about, you know, a first generation DJ who started off on the Pirates and getting an understanding about what the pirate radio was like in the late 90s, you know, and from indulging to Erotic FM, to name a few. And those moments, you know, those early days for him, he could have quite easily could have stepped aside from it, but his passion was the music and radio. Great for him for continuing with what he's done and those sharing those moments as well, especially at Erotic FM's launch party as well, their birthday as well back in '99. So some great memories there. So again, Steve, I want to say a massive thanks to you as well and your contribution and support to the platform. Episode 7, I think I'm doing all right at the minute. We move into Munchie. My goodness me, what a podcast that was. Munchie, my goodness me, man. Yeah, I actually enjoyed editing that as much as me recording it. Great guy. And he's got a lot to say. And I am glad I had him on. Even his moment on Grain Chill. Trust me, that was a moment. So if you haven't watched Munchie's one, I would advise you to go and sit and watch that. You know, what a great guy, great, honest, and again, he had these unspoken words to talk about how he also felt that there was also a scene outside of South London, you know, how when the scene began back in the early 90s, and great argument to have. That's why we're here. We do the unspoken word. Last but not least, for episode 8 was Gavin DJ Face Mills, another great guy. I could have went on and on. We could have had a great longer podcast with Gavin, and I wanted to say massive thanks to him as well, because he's connecting the dots from the very, very early years of the rave culture scene, how it all began, the production, working with Brian Tharm, his help and involvement with Nathan Lockett, working then to moving forward with Tough Jam under the alias Copyright, to name a few. So that was a great insight into his journey and how that all planned out for him. So again, if you haven't watched season 1, I would strongly advise you to go and watch that. Link are in the description as well. So don't forget that. So as we move into April of 2025, we had a compilation series to celebrate another year of Essential Garage Tape Pack. So again, thanks to the guys who contributed to those exclusive mixes, Mikey Benjamin included as well, and Steve Stretton and the boys. Also, massive shouts to Selector Primetime, not forgotten you as well, man. Massive shouts to supporting that as well, man. Big up, big up, big up. So as we move a little bit forward into the summer month, we are then planning what was the first event of 2025 for us, which was called the Essential Sessions. And I want to take the time to say a massive shout out to the guys who actually were involved in putting that together. Planet Wax, massive shouts to you guys. Chris and the boys, thank you so much. The first one went down a treat, the launch one, back in June. And a little nervous, to say the least, because anything you do, you're going to be a little bit nervous, aren't you? So you want to make sure everything goes right, it goes well, DJs are turned up on time. But most importantly, first and foremost, I want to say big up to Lady Diverse. Diverse, the female beatmaker, who is really instrumental in tying the dots for us on that. So massive shout outs to her. You know, another veteran in the game, and you know, don't forget, D, I still got you. Don't worry, we're gonna have a sit down and we're gonna have a little chat soon. So we've got you. You're definitely gonna be on camera rolling soon. But most importantly, the guys that were involved in the event. So Andy B, Solo, massive shout out to you guys being part of that. Lawrence, Anthony, Elski, my boy. I've got to say, big up, Dove Chain. My God, yeah, what a lovely soul he was, man. And he come true and represent Steve Stratton and Munchie. They shelled down a wicked little set as well, man. So first one was good. And of course, I will get a little bit more into the birthday showcase as we snowball a little bit in. As we get into the summer months, we go just a little bit past that. We then go into September, and we did a takeover for Planet Wax early September, and I enjoyed that part of that because it was a chance for us to just be on the radio for Planet Wax and support what they have been doing. So that was a great little start to that. That was great. Also, we launched I believe, a compilation series called Frequency. And again, I want to take the time out to massive shouts to Twin Peaks, Mikey Benjamin, Joe Old School, myself, of course, Steve Stratton, and the boys who made Frequency a major success. And it just epitomises what we do as a community, bringing back some of that old school value as well. We wanted to take a compilation back to where its roots were, which was 93 to 97, playing proper, authentic house and garage from its original form, how it already started. So that was a great success. As we move forward into October was a lot of planning for what was to be the birthday showcase in November. But prior to that, I want to say a massive shout to UKG Basecamp again, Wax, very instrumental in collaborating with us for the Halloween Spooktacular, and I thoroughly enjoyed that evening. That live stream on TikTok was amazing. Never have I experienced anything like that, and the contribution that Virus, Uno MC, massive shouts to you, Si. Just trying to think of the names. Let me go through it. Take my time, boys. Just allow me for a minute, man. Virus, massive shouts to you. Not forgotten you there. Wax, of course. Uno, Steve Stratton, Munchie, myself. I don't think I've forgotten anyone else. No, I haven't. That was a great evening, and the recording of it, everything, getting all the cameras set up, getting the room decorated. That was a big success. So again, massive shouts to the Pirate Studios for allowing us to record, and massive shouts to the lady at the desk. Yeah, I think that's an inside joke. I think the guys who were there that night know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's jokes aside, it was great recording that. And that was just a little bit of a taster for what was to come in November, which was the birthday showcase. And I really want to say, first and foremost, a massive shout out to Sophie for her contribution to her lovely cakes, which everyone, and I mean everybody, loved her cakes. So, she took the time to think about what she wanted to do and add for the birthday. What would everyone would like to have a part of? Nothing more than little cupcakes. So if you see the little pictures, as you can see, probably will flash up on the screen at some point, you'll see that there were some lovely cakes that Sophie and I had thought about putting together, and to say thank you for you guys for really coming and supporting that. And my goodness me, that was good. So I know Reaper, massive shout out to you, Reaper, DEA. He enjoyed the cakes. He ended up taking a good few that night, bless him. That was great. So massive shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Reaper, DEA. But most importantly, the guys who made the birthday showcase as special. That was great. I mean, even putting the advert together, every involvement that night does not get spoken about. I mean, everybody made the 15th of November a night to remember. There was whistles, there was horns, it was a vibe. And I say, I haven't felt anything like that in a very long time. That night was special. I could go back and do that all over again because that night was special, and even the guys that came down, I appreciate that, and that doesn't get on. I don't forget those things, So I want to say a massive thank you to you guys for supporting that. So we move forward, we digress a little bit, and then we launch back in December, the Unspoken Word Season 2. So for the same, we picked back up and we ended the year with 2 episodes from Season 2, Dominic Spread Love. Now that is how you do a podcast. Episode 1 of that was, yeah. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. That's all I've got to say. And first and foremost, I want to say a massive, massive thanks to Dominic. You made episode 1 a cliffhanger in its own rights. People are asking for a part 2. So Dominic, I leave that to you. All right? I leave that to you because the comments does not lie. That was epic. I actually finished recording that day and I thought, whoa, we've got something here. We've got something here. This is great, man. And he was real. He was honest. He spoke about how he saw the scene as it was. What was life like back then as well? And he's given it his opinion. That was what life was about back then. The culture, the music, the drugs, what it was all about then. That was what the scene was about. That was what life was about growing up back in the late 80s, early 90s, and his involvement, and credit to him for really sticking with the music, because he mentions, as I'm not going to give too much away, but he mentions a direction that he could have taken and he decided to go in a different direction. So the fact he stuck with that, look at him now. He gets to have an interview with me. And Blue James, Blue, I've got a lot of love. Thank you so much for making episode 2 how it was. And you made it rent well. So again, massive shout out to him. Blue is lovely soul, man. I really appreciate your time and for what you've done for the community. So yeah, that goes without saying. So what I'm going to do, we're going to take the time to just have a reflect of some visuals and some pictures of what we've done over the last 12 months.
Two of the legends here just played a wicked set. Daniel Ward, Hermit, guys who throwed it down nice in there. Talk us through the set.
Yeah, what you done now, Shane? Talking about Shane Blitz. He been drinking. Shane Blitz's birthday bash.
Whose birthday bash is it? What's the date?
15th of November.
And where is it?
Round the corner. Planet Wax.
We gotta pick up our DJs. Big up Piper, big up Liberty Lana.
Right, ready, go.
Anderson. Everyone locking in, locking on. North, south, west, east. London city, surrounding counties, across the globe, wherever you are. This is DJ Ramsey, Essential Garage Tape Pack in the house. Rhythm.
Have come together and put on Garage Nation. And again, they were getting big venues. So that's what made them quite popular back in the day.
That track took me 5 months to edit. I literally worked on that for 5 months, that track.
Wow.
Remember
Danny
that?
Harrison?
Yes, thank you. I worked with them. They originally did Joyrider.
Yeah.
What that means if I show you this?
What does it mean? Oh, it's a long story, man.
It is a long story.
For me, I think if I think a two-step, I'm thinking a two-step beat.
Yeah.
The Tina Moore. Others might have anything different. What's your opinion?
Well, definitely that was 96. So,
Yeah.
because I said to you about Locked On and all that, right?
I was drinking out of this cup, bit of tea. My mum, God rest her soul, she was there. So I lift this cup up and I'm drinking and I said, yeah, I'm going to call it London Underground.
A record, and that was a record that was twisted up people's minds because it was UK garage, but it wasn't UK garage. Giles Peterson, I mean, Giles probably does play off of UK garage records, but it doesn't sound like UK garage. But beats wise, it's still kind of like in that UK garage format.
I went and done a guest show one time.
Yeah.
And they loved it and they just wanted me back. And then in the end, I started, I ended up doing a show with Mike Roughcut Lloyd.
And the police came because they thought there'd been an event in there.
Yeah.
And someone said, oh, well, they have a special chime squad.
I mean, the bass line, the bass line is fat.
Yeah.
From the R&B song, it's that Brandy song.
The Boy Is Mine.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I was glad they did it like that.
Yeah.
So we now move on to the major announcement. As the platform continues to grow, we've taken the time to ensure it's built for the future, creatively and structurally. Moving forward, the channel will operate under a new identity. This evolution allows us to remain independent, focused and clear while continuing to preserve the archive and the culture that brought us here. Nothing else changes, the voice remains, the history stays documented and the room stays open. This platform has always been bigger than a name and it's been a gathering, I've got to say that. But thank you for showing up, listening close and helping shape what this became. We are not closing the door, we are opening the next one. Welcome to the next chapter.